Okay, on this question, they're giving us a graph, and they're saying the curve above is the graph of a sinusoidal function. Could be sine, could be cosine. It goes through the points -9, -4, and 5, -4. Let's find those real quick. -9, -4, -9 right there. And 5, -4 right there. 5, so it's okay. And find a sinusoidal function that matches the given graph. If needed, you can enter pi and blah, blah, blah. Okay, but you get the answer already here. How did we come up with that answer? How do we do it? Well, let's go to the notes. So here is the notes. What does it say? And specifically it's, from a graph, find the equation. That's what they're asking us to do, right? They're giving us the graph, the picture, they want the equation. Okay, how do we do it? Step one. First find a box that contains what you're looking at. Okay, let's go back and let's just put a box right where they gave us the dots, So I'm gonna go from right here to right there, right where they gave us those dots. There's our box. All right. Now, so now that means kind of like forget about all this, just like right there. So do you know, is that a sine or cosine in that box? Which one is it? Well, if you're not sure, look at the notes. So it says find the box. Okay, does it start in the middle, go high and low? So it's middle in the box, that's positive sign, middle in the box, that's negative sign, goes down first, goes up first. Or is it like a U up? Or yeah, that's a regular U up or U down. That'd be some kind of cosine, right? That starts high, goes low, high, or low, high, low. No, it's not middle, right? Sine is middle. Which one do we have? Let's go back. In the box. Again, forget about this. Just focus on the box. Starts at the bottom, goes high. Well, that's a U turned upside down, isn't it? So U turned upside down. Oh, that's this. It's a negative cosine. See it? Negative cosine. So we have a negative cosine, which of course, see, that's true. So we know right away it's negative cosine. Let's go on with the other steps. Here we go. So step one, find the box. So we found the box, negative cosine. We have a U shape in our box. Looks like that. Okay. Step two. Within the box, the graph starts. So the example I'm giving you was a sine one, but that's not us. Okay. So then what do we do next? Well, next we have to find the middle. We're going to find the middle of the box. That's D. Find the amplitude above and below. That's A. Let's go do that real quick. So as you look at our box, what is the middle of our box? Well, it's just 0. Meaning the middle height, right? This is 0. Right, numbers go up 1, 2, 3. So the middle height, in fact, let's just put the middle right in there. This is the middle. The middle of the box is 0. And so we know it's A cosine. I probably should have done this first. BX plus C plus D. Right? And that's what they're saying. So step one, I should have done that. So step one is saying, write the general form. The example I'm giving is a sine, but this is a cosine. So we write that out. The middle, that's D. It's telling, so we know that's D. D is 0. That's what it says right here. The middle of the box is D. And then the amplitude is how far the box goes above and below the middle. That's A. How far does the box go above and below the middle? Well, it goes above the middle and below the middle by what? Just count them. 1, 2, 3, 4. It goes up 4 and down 4. So that's A. Now, we actually know it's -4. How do we know that? Because we already decided it's a negative cosine. So I should have just put a negative there, right? Remember when we originally went back to the picture, we looked right here and said we're negative cosine because the U is upside down. The positive cosine has the u like a normal u going up. Our u is upside down, right? Okay, so let's go back. So we have a negative cosine right now. So negative cosine. So far we have -4 cosine, and this is +0 out here. And so now we just need B and C, and we're in business. So again, how have I done this so far? You put a box, they said go from -9, -4, -5, -4. I put a box right there. Looked at it, it's a U upside down. So that means it's a negative cosine. I found the middle of that box, which was at a height. The middle, maybe I should have said the middle height. The middle height is 0, that's D. That goes out here. It's A cosine BX plus C. And then how far above and below the middle the graph goes, 4. That's the A in the front. We already know it's negative because it's an upside down cosine. It's a U turned upside down. So now we just need B and C. How do we find B and C? Well, looking back at the notes again. The width of the box is called the period, and that's 2 pi over B. So see how in this one I looked at this box, this example, and it went, from 0 to -6. So that's width of 6. And you set that equal to the formula 2 pi over B. So the width of the box is called the period. The formula is 2 pi over B, and then you just say what it's equal to. Okay, let's go back and do that. So what is the width of the box? I'll try to squeeze it in right here. The width of the box goes from right here to right here. Right, that's the width of the box. How wide is that box? Just count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. It's 14 across. That's the period. Period is the width 14. It's 14. You could have also said, look, it goes from -9 to +5. How far from -9, right? From -9 to 0 is 9, and then to go out to 5 is 5 more, 9 and 5 more. That's 14. You don't have to count the jumps. You could just say, look, it's, from the middle, it's 9 this way, -9, and it's 5 that way, 9 and 5, 14. The width is 14. We counted the jumps, that works too, whatever, the width is 14. What do you do with that width formula? It said the width is called the period, and that's 14, and it's 2 pi over B, right? That was the formula down here on step 3. The width of the box, called the period, 2 pi over B. Okay, doesn't matter which side you put that on. So now, if it bugs you out here, I'll switch it around if it bothers you. So 2 pi over B equals 14. So now we solve that equation for B. How do we solve that equation for B? Well, you know how to handle fractions. You multiply by, do that a little better, B over 1 on that side, B over 1, or you could just call it B on that side. The B's cancel, and you get 2 pi is 14B, right? Bring that down a line. 2 pi is 14B. How do you finish getting B alone? Divide by 14. Boom, boom. And then B is 2 pi. Let's reduce that. Let's reduce that fraction. Divide by 2, divide by 2, top and bottom. It's going to be pi over 7. There's our B. So our B is pi over 7. So that's our B, which goes right there, pi over 7. So you can see it's right there. There's the B, there's our A, there's our D is, there's nothing out here for D is just 0. Okay, last thing is, how do we get C? Well, go back to the thing here. So there's the formula with C. Horizontal shift, either right or left, either the right or the left edge of the box is called the horizontal shift, and the formula is -C over B. All right, let's go back to it. So you can take the right edge or the left edge. It doesn't matter at all. I'm just going to grab the right edge. It's just it's a bit of a messy graph now. But yeah, so the right here, the right edge of the box is 5, isn't it? See it right here? Right edge of the box at 5. Right edge of the box is 5. And what was the formula for that? Negative C over B equals 5. That's what it said. It's called the phase shift. Right? Let me run back down one more time. Right? Or the horizontal shift. Horizontal shift. Either you can take the right edge or left. It'll work either way. And it's negative C over B. Okay, my example was 0, but that's not what's here. So phase shift, here, I'll change it if it bugs you. It's called the horizontal shift or the phase shift, whatever. So it's negative C over B, and it's equal to 5. So what are we trying to solve for? C. We're trying to solve for C. How do we solve that for C? Well, when you get denominators, you know the deal. Multiply by B over 1 on both sides. It cancels out. We get negative C is 5B, and then get rid of the negative 1. Right? Cancels out. C is, now what's 5 over negative 1? That's just negative 5B, right? You know that 5 divided by negative 1 is just negative 5. That's negative 5B. Now let's plug in what was B? Well, B's right here. Pi over 7. Boom. B's pi over 7. So therefore, C equals negative 5/7 pi, right? You can just shift that 7 out there. It doesn't matter where it is. Either way is fine. 7's in the denominator, either under the pi or under the 5. It really doesn't matter. It's just the way we normally write it. And there's C, and sure enough, that's what they have as C. So there is our equation. So putting it all together, so right here, it's A, it's negative A cosine bx plus c plus d. We learned that the d is 0, so that's gone, and that this is negative 4 cosine. We found the b is pi over 7 x, and the c is negative 5/7 pi. Right there. We found the C, we found the B, and that's the answer that agrees with the answer they gave. And so that's how you do it. So it's all about making that box from dot to dot, finding the middle of the box, that's D, finding how far it goes above and below the box, that's A. Well, actually, first you got to find out, what's the shape? If this one's an upside down U, so it's a negative cosine. If it was a U going like this, it'd be a positive cosine. If it was starting in the middle of the box, going middle and middle, that'd be a sine, positive sign. You got to figure out which one it is. And then that gets you A and D. And then for B and C, for B, you got to take the width of the box. How wide is the box? That's just 9 that way, 5 that way, add them up, 14. And the formula is 2 pi over B equals the width of the box. It's called the period. Solve for B, you got B. And then you got to find the right edge, or you could use the left edge. It doesn't matter, work out either way. I used 5 as the right edge. Right edge is 5 of the box. And that formula, that's called the horizontal shift. And that's negative C over B equals 5, the right edge, or you could do the left edge, negative 9. That'd work too. Solve for C. So you got to multiply both sides by B, cancels, and divide by the negative. So you get negative 5B, and then plug in the B that you found previous. There's C. And there we go. That's exactly how it works.